So today I have a video that one of you guys requested. You guys requested to see the process of making a flip book. So that's what I'm going to do today. So for this flip book, I'm going to do something a little smaller to scale. So I'm using this paper pad by the Paper Studio. It doesn't have a name really, but it's absolutely beautiful. So beforehand, before I started, I picked out all of my paper so that I didn't have to waste all that time. But that's something I recommend, that you kind of pre-plan what you're doing so that everything matches. So these 3 pieces of paper I chose are going to be the things that I use for like corner pockets and things like this. And these papers I chose to actually make the flip book out of. And then I pre-chose my washi as well, because I think these washis go perfect with the colors. So what I did is I chose the papers that I'm going to double side. Most of your papers are white on the back, so you have to double side them yourself, which I do with double-sided tape. This page I want as my front page, so I chose the paper that I want on the back. So this is how I want it to look. This is the front. So what you do is you always flip it over. If you want that to be your front, you don't lay it like this, because when you connect the pieces of paper, that'll be on the inside and that'll be your front. So that is how you have to remember, because that's a key thing, or otherwise your flip book won't look right. So I want this on the inside. I want the butterflies in the middle. And then I want the bike on the end, so that when the flip book is folded, this is how it'll go. So that's the page that you'll open up to, and then this will fold this way. So that'll be the back of the flip book, and that'll be the front of the flip book. I know that sounds very intricate, but that's the kind of things that you have to decide before you start your flip book. What I'm going to do is just take some double-sided tape and start adhering these papers together. This process is a little time consuming, but it's absolutely necessary in order to make your flip book. So I just lay down some double-sided tape, and you don't have to cover every single inch of the paper, because when you put your washi down, the washi is really going to secure it. If you want to use glue, go ahead and use like stick glue or something if that's what you want to do, but I find that the glue actually kind of makes the paper wet and almost crinkles it. I don't like the effect the glue gives the paper, so I rather just use double-sided tape, because then it doesn't affect the paper in any way. The hardest part of this is actually getting the papers to line up perfect. That, believe it or not, is the hardest part. So what I tried to do is hold the papers on my desk, because that's the flattest surface, so when I stick them together, they should pretty much line up like that. And if you get a little teeny tiny lip that doesn't match, it's okay. Your washi is going to cover all that. And when you fold your flip book in, you're going to trim some of the paper off anyway, so that it folds perfectly. You're going to see as I put all this together. So I'm just going to continue to stick all my pieces of paper together, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so I have all of my papers adhered together. I know you see a whole bunch of array of stuff, because along with picking out all of my paper, I'll pan over a little bit, I also pick out all of my little Jugans and like all the stuff, stickers and everything that I'm going to use. That's what you see is laying all over my desk, so that I don't have to be digging for it while I'm putting all this together. I kind of pre-choose everything before I sit down and actually make it. So now you're going to put your flip book together. So like I said, this is how I want the papers to look as they're opened. I know it's really hard to get all of that in one frame. Okay, so again, that's the front. So when you adhere them, you always want to put that on the back side, and whatever you chose to be your last page, you want to put on the back side as well. So the washi that I've chose to adhere my book together is this just very light color gold foiled washi, because I don't think it'll pull from any of the pages. And then anywhere that I want more pink, this is a whiter washi, and I like to use the whiter washi to adhere my book. But if I want more pink, I'm going to lay this one over it in the center. You'll see when I get going. But one of the tricks that I learned, if you guys have been with me for any length of time, you guys saw that my first flip book didn't fold the right way. I learned that you have to keep the gap in between your pages so that your flip book folds the correct way. So this is how I learned the easiest way to do it is to just take your piece of washi and just kind of lay it on the end with nothing underneath, like so. And then grab the other piece. I always fold that back just a little bit so that I can see the corners. Let me zoom in on this little part right here. If you guys can see that. Okay, so I always leave like a little teeny gap. I hope you guys are seeing that pretty well. I always leave a little teeny gap between the two, and then I just fold over the washi. Just like so. And that's how I've learned to adhere my book so that it'll fold the proper way. And then all I do is just flip it over and then lay the washi on top of that, and then I trim it. Just like so. Alright, and then I'm going to do it again on this end. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I just fold up the washi to the corner and line them up. Make sure that there's a little bit of a gap in there so that it'll fold. And then I just push the washi over. Just like that. Going to flip it over and adhere it again. Oop, don't like that. Okay, and then now the flip book is adhered, so all I do is just trim off the tops and then the bottom. So, see, now watch, the flip book will close very well. See? And then there's your front, and then no worries. But just to make sure, this is the page that has to fold in right here. So all I do is I take my handy dandy cutter, just like so, and I just put it in, and I'm just going to trim off the end. I mean just a little teeny tiny bit. Let me move this down so I can see. Just a little teeny tiny bit to ensure that it definitely will fold perfect. There won't be any interference with it at all. So I mean just a teeny tiny bit is all I do. Just like that. Let me show you how little. See, just a little teeny tiny bit I take off just to ensure that the flip book is going to close with no like problems. See how it's just shy of the crease of the flip book? I know that when I close it and fold it, there'll be no like resistance, nothing will be keeping it from folding, and then you have a perfect flip book. No, like it doesn't stick out in any weird ways or anything like that. It folds really nice. So when you open the flip book, like I said, that'll be our front. That's your first two pages, and then you'll flip it open to your other one. So that's how they come together. Super, super simple and easy. Now the first thing most people like to do is start on the front. What I've learned is that usually you should save the front to the last, because if you put a lot of embellishments and things on the front, which a lot of people do because it makes it look really pretty, and I like it that way as well, It's really hard though to work on the rest of the flip book because the front of your flip book is so bulky that when you go to work on this page, it's almost like impossible. So I always save the front page to the last. So I'm going to work on these couple pages first. So what I did is I pre-picked out some Project Life cards and things like that from my stash. I have a ton of these because I do pocket letters as well. To use along for some of these as pockets and decorations and things. I've decided that I want to use this one for the front. You'll see when we get there. I have some of these. Some of these are going to be pockets, and then some of the papers that I picked out from that same pack are going to be some of the pockets, and these are going to be laid on top. You'll see it's called like a double pocket. But for this one, I really like my first page to be like, if you're sending it to a friend, which of course I am, you know, welcoming them and things like that. So I found this one and I think this is absolutely beautiful. It says, your friendship means the world to me. So I'm actually going to use this Project Life card as the pocket for this page. So when you do things like that, you're only going to adhere the corners. Just these. You're going to leave the middle and the tops open, because if you glue them down, there's no way to use it as a pocket. So it is your choice. You can either take washi and use it as the way that you adhere it to the piece of paper, or you can take glue. But again, these stick glues, they're okay with this, but it does, like, it warps the paper. I don't know how to explain it. It makes it look crinkly, so I try to stay away from stick glue as much as possible. This glue doesn't do too bad. It doesn't do too bad, but it's very wet and you have to let it dry, so you can't work with it right away. Or you can cut thin strips of double-sided tape to adhere your pocket. Whatever works for you guys. For this specific one, I really do like the washi. I think the washi goes very well, so I'm going to use the washi in this particular one to make this pocket. So to make the pocket, I kind of do the same exact thing. I start in the center. I start kind of down from the top of the pocket, and again, I lay it right on the end, just like that. Okay, and then I cut it. This is so that it looks perfect, like there isn't these, I prefer not to have jagged ends on my little pockets. That makes a perfect little pocket. For this butterfly page, I really like the plaid, so I'm going to make a corner pocket for this one, and all I do for that is cut the paper corner to corner. For these, I do adhere these with a double-sided tape, and then I lay washi over top of them. Now I'm just going to lay some washi over this, just to give it a finished look. Now for this one, I don't want to cover up this beautiful bicycle, so I'm going to make a side pocket like this. See? And that'll be a side pocket just like that. And then this is going to be our next pocket, which is these beautiful butterflies, and for that I'm going to make a long pocket at the bottom. So for this I'm going to use my cutter. So I'm going to use some of this washi just to pop the blue. I'm going to take this beautiful washi with the blue and the like watercolored pink butterflies, which I think is beautiful with this paper, and I'm going to run a strip right across here. So I want to make one more pocket and add as a pocket in the front, and I have this beautiful Project Life card here to make a pocket in the front of the flip book. So this is the last pocket that I'll make, and then I'll begin to embellish. So this is the flip book as a whole. All you're doing is making your flips and adding your pockets. As you saw me put everything together, this is the pocket for this page. This is the pocket for this page. Then we have a corner pocket for this one, and then a side pocket for this one. So all I'm going to do is take some time and embellish this with all of these cute little embellishments, and I'm going to add all the goodies and things like that to it. I think you guys understand from here on out that it's just your creativity and however you want your flip book to look, but that is basic how you make a flip book. It's super easy. They're so much fun. They're absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to quit rambling. I'm going to embellish and fill this flip book, and I will show it to you in a few seconds. Okay, lovies, that is the finished product. This is how I embellish the front, just with paper clips is the goodie, with a bow and some wood chip pieces and a 3D butterfly and some bling and some pretty lace down at the bottom. And then I put another paper, well, this isn't a paper clip, this is a clothespin, but it looks like a bow just to secure the flip book together. And then when we open it to the first page, this is how I embellished it. You can see the scalloped lace on the other side, which I thought was really pretty. And then in this pocket, I gave as a goodie some seeds for spring, and I also put a little thing in there all about how seeds grow into friendship, and some page flags. And then on this page, I embellished it with a beautiful sticker. And I know it looks like the doily is glued down, but it's not. It's actually stuck in the pocket. So you get a doily and beautiful butterfly stickers. Then when you open it, and then in the second page is your washi samples, and then a sample of pink ribbon. And I embellished it with some lace, and it just says "Be Happy" on top of the lace, and some beautiful stickers. I wanted to pop the yellow and the butterflies, so I think that turns out really pretty. And then in this last page here, you're getting homemade tags. I made both of these tags, and I sent you some bling, and then I just embellished it with a little sticker because this page is beautiful. There's a lot going on. And then a little tag sticker here. I think that page is just absolutely beautiful. I didn't want to put a lot on that. And then when you fold it back up on the last page, so inside will be a note from me and some mail tags. So that is the back. And like I said, when you open it, and then that's how it folds. And you're back to the front. I made this flip book for a tutorial, but now it needs a home. So if anybody would be interested in swapping this flip book with me, I think it'd be fantastic. Now I know that quite a few of you lovies have asked to swap pocket letters or flip books with me, and I have said no problem and have asked that you guys would email me. Some of you have and some of you haven't. I just want to say that I really prefer you guys to email me about swapping kind of things. I really don't think it's wise to leave your home address in the comments, and I know for sure that I'm not going to. So if you guys are really interested in swapping, I would ask that you email me. I will flash my email right here where my hand is. This is my email address. If you guys are interested in swapping with me, please email me. So for this one, which I'm calling Pink Victorian, to be fair, if you guys would like to swap this with me, if one of you lovies are out there that comments and emails me, will receive this. This will be the swap. I want to be fair, so the first person who comments and then emails me right away, we will swap with this particular flip book. So I hope you guys enjoyed this flip book tutorial today. I had a lot of fun making this. So that's all the time that I have for today, guys. Thanks so much for joining me in my flip book tutorial. I hope you guys are having a blessed and wonderful day. I will chit chat at you in my next video. Bye, lovies.
Hey, no, no, no.